Okay, let's go through the checklist with Nicholas Castellanos. Checkpoint number one as we go through movement number one, loading our back hip with our stride. Does his back knee get inside his back foot while he strides without moving his knee backwards? Okay, he gets a little bit of a rock back, but you can still see his knee, as we look here, does not point back outwards. He gets that little rock back. There's his negative motion, okay, but his knee does not go back that way. Now, as soon as he's getting up, it looks just like pitching. We can't see his back knee, but we can see as soon as this clears, look how that is getting inside. Look at it go. There's the big motion. So even though he's going to get that huge negative movement, you can see that knee is staying inside his front foot. Sorry for not drawing a very straight line. He's going to get it inside. So that's a check. Next thing that we are going to look at are his hips moving level and forward, and does he get his back hip, oh God, yes, inside his front foot. You can really see how his back hip loads. See how he gets his back hip? Just watch his back hip. I know his front knee blocks it early, but see how he gets his back hip. Look at that. Look how early, right there, how early he's gotten that back hip loaded inside. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at, are we moving level? Absolutely. Look at how level. Coach Gutsopoulos talks about the batter's box being tilted slightly 5 degrees downhill. Yeah, you can see how smooth and level he moves. And his front foot moves at a consistent pace, and gets forward into the ground. Consistent pace forward into the ground. And when my front toe hits the ground, no weight has shifted forward to my front leg. My weight is back. Now he's got about the most violent swing ever, but as we get our toe down, we can still see weight has not transferred. His weight is still back for a nanosecond. And my toe hits the ground, my chin is still back over my belly button. Absolutely, you can see how his chin is still back. Looking at 1A, loading his hands with his stride, right? His hands definitely do not move forward. You can see how he is kind of a walk away from our hands kind of guy. His hands have not moved forward as he gets to his stride. Are his hands a fist away from his back shoulder? He's pretty darn close, and being a superb athlete, he can have this arm that extended and still pull in tight. You can see his elbow way back behind his belly button, and that top hand is pretty darn close to being a fist away from his back shoulder, and nowhere is he's not even smelling being past 45 degrees. Now as we look at immediate preparation, are we going to get heel and heel? Yep. See how immediate heel, 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 heel. He immediately engages. As his front heel comes down, his core immediately starts to engage. The weight doesn't flop, leak, slide, or drift forward, and it's not hollow back knee turn. Good God, no. You can see how it's an engagement, right? How he immediately, as we're just watching here, as his foot hits, you can see how immediately there's nothing hollow or empty there. He has engaged that. It's definitely out towards the ball. It's not coming around. You can see how it's going out towards home plate. He's not flying around. And do we have our back elbow working independent of our hands? Yes, we do. You can really see it here with Castellanos, even at a bad frame rate, how the back elbow works independent of the hands. And then finally, is he creating a stretch? Yeah. Look how far back his hands are. Look how much he has engaged here. We can see how his core engagement has clearly led his hands coming forward. There's his stretch. Now as we move on to movement 3, hands straight to the ball. Does he stay connected to his back shoulder? Let's zoom in even on this crappy video. Yeah. See how the space is getting closed? Right? He not only maintains that relationship, but by that back elbow, working independent of the hand, see how his hands are able to pull through. As we watch, we trace the flight path of his hands, watching his white batting gloves. You can see what a direct line, nothing comes out and around, what a direct line his hands are taking to the ball. And unless the pitch is very high, does his head drop as he's going to the ball? You bet, right? As we pause at impact, which I think is somewhere in there, we have a very strange angle to see, but he is, as we kind of just watch to see, does he maintain his arm being bent? He caught this a little bit out in front. You can see that it is going to be a breaking pitch. See the way that the catcher is reaching. He was a little bit out in front, but I bet that's still really close to being bent at 90 degrees as he hit that. Now as we look at the last movement, number 4, extension, does he keep palm up, palm down? Yes. Does his chin drop through extension? I'm sorry, that should have been first. Yes. Does he keep palm up, palm down through extension? Yes. And then is his direction going straight through the ball? Yes.